Ever wonder what the numbers 20/20 or 6/6 actually mean and what they have to do with visual acuity? Stay tuned. Black Labrador Retriever wearing sunglasses, holding white cane, surrounded by the words The Blind Survivor's Guide. Hello, I'm Yolanda and I welcome you back to The Blind Survivor's Guide. If this is your first time visiting the channel, welcome. And may I suggest you watch the video, The Blind Survivor's Guide intro, to get an appreciation for what you can expect from the channel. And once again, welcome. This video provides information on visual acuity and is the third in what has turned out to be an impromptu series on vision. The first video is on how the eye works. The second one is on visual field. To get a better understanding on how vision works, may I suggest you watch all the videos in this series in the playlist Vision. But first, disclaimer, I am not a doctor or a healthcare professional. Any information shared here comes from my personal experience or research and is intended for general understanding. For actual medical advice, always check with your doctor or a healthcare professional. I am not a doctor or involved in the medical profession or field of any kind. The information shared here is basic but sufficient to allow for an understanding of the different physical layers of the visual pathways and how vision works. The goal is to lay a foundation that allows for the understanding on how or what a visually impaired individual may or may not be able to see based on what caused the vision loss. Because the visual field is almost like a Rubik's Cube comprised of many layers, we'll start with one of the layers, visual acuity. Visual acuity is the clarity or sharpness of your vision. It's your eye's ability to distinguish fine objects and recognize small details at a given distance. So how do we measure visual acuity? The most common way is by using an eye chart, like the Snellen chart. A Snellen chart has rows of letters that get progressively smaller. You stand at a specific distance. In the United States, that's 20 feet from the chart, and an eye doctor asks you to read the lowest line you can. The results are expressed in fractions, most famously 20/20. So what does 20/20 actually mean? It doesn't mean perfect vision, but rather normal vision. The first number 20 is the distance in feet you are from the eye chart. In countries that use the metric system, this is 6 meters. The second number represents the distance at which a person with normal vision could read the same line you just read. So, if you have 20/20 vision, it means you can see at 20 feet what a normally sighted person can also see at 20 feet. But what if you have 20/40 vision? If you have 20/40 vision, that means at 20 feet, you can only see what a person with normal vision could see if they were standing 40 feet away from the chart. Essentially, your vision isn't as sharp and you need to be closer to discern the same details. Is it possible to have vision that's better than 20/20? Yes, it is possible to have vision that's better than 20/20. You can have vision that's 20/15. If you have 20/15 vision, it means that at 20 feet, you can see details that someone with normal 20/20 vision would have to move to 15 feet to see. If you have 20/15 vision, you have particularly sharp eyesight. So what actually determines your visual acuity? It's a complex interplay of several factors within your eye and your brain. First, the cornea and lens. These are the clear structures at the front of your eye that focus light onto your retina. If the shape of your cornea or the power of your lens isn't quite right, maybe it's too curved or not curved enough, light won't focus precisely where it needs to be on the retina. This is where common refractive errors like myopia, nearsightedness, or hyperopia, farsightedness come into play. Myopia or nearsightedness occurs when the light rays enter the eyes and focus prior to reaching the retina. This may result when there are issues with the cornea or lens, and in some instances, the eye itself may be larger than it should be. A person with myopia sees near objects clear, but distant objects blurry. Hyperopia or farsightedness occurs when the light rays enter the eye and focus beyond the retina. This may be as a result of defects with the cornea or the lens, or in some instances, the eye itself may be shorter than it should be. A person with hyperopia sees distant objects clear, but near objects blurry. Then there's the retina itself, especially a small area called the macula, and within that, the fovea. This is where your light-sensing cells, particularly the cones responsible for color and fine details, are most densely packed. A healthy retina is crucial for sharp vision. And of course, the brain plays a huge role. Your brain interprets the signals sent from your eyes. Even with perfectly healthy eyes, if the brain doesn't process these signals correctly, visual acuity can be affected. Visual acuity classification based on the World Health Organization as of November 2025. The World Health Organization classifies vision impairment based on best corrected visual acuity in the better eye, using categories for mild, moderate, severe impairment, and blindness. The information will be provided using the metric system, where mild visual impairment is worse than 612 but better or equal to 618. Moderate is worse than 618 but better or equal to 660. Severe impairment, worse than 660, but better than or equal to 360. And blindness is worse than 360. Visual acuity classification as per the United States of America as of November 2025. 2020 is considered normal vision with or without corrective lenses or surgery. The visual acuity for low vision ranges from 2070 to just below 2200, corrected in the better eye. A person with the visual acuity of 2200 but less than 2400 corrected is considered legally blind. It is at this point that an individual may be eligible for disability benefits. A person is classified as blind if the visual acuity is equal to or greater than 2400, has only light perception, or has no light perception. Once again, I must emphasize that visual acuity measurement is based on corrected vision, meaning while wearing glasses, contact lenses, or after corrective surgery. I hope this cleared things up about visual acuity and the numbers 2020, which is simply the measurement of how clearly you see details at a distance. If you've been wondering about your eyesight, the most important takeaway from this is don't wait. Book an appointment with your eye doctor. They can give you a precise measurement and ensure your eyes are healthy. If you learned something new, please hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me what you learned about visual acuity in this video, or if you have a question. Till next time, please stay strong, stay safe, and take care of yourself because you are important. If you or someone you know has recently been diagnosed as legally blind or blind, for assistance, call your local state disability office. For veterans, contact the Visual Impairment Support Team Coordinator, the VIS Coordinator, at your nearest Veterans Administration hospital. Please get your eyes checked. Early detection of a problem may save your vision. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, press the bell to be notified of the next video.